Well, hello, everybody. I guess I am live. I'm using StreamYard here, and I've only used this a few times, so I am just going to assume everything is going to go perfectly smoothly with this today. So if you are joining me on this live, please post a comment so I can make sure that everybody can see me and can hear me and everything's working and it's all fantastic. I want to make sure that I can see your guys's comments. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm able to see your comments, but I'm not 100% sure. So whoever, I see that 3 people have joined me. If you could put a comment, there we go. Hello, Deanna. Good morning. Great, fantastic. All right, so people can comment. I can see comments. Welcome, everybody, to this live stream masterclass. I'm streaming to Facebook and to YouTube right now, and we'll be going over my blueprint with you all. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. I really wanted you to see my view, but the light is not perfect. So there is my view from my back window. How's that? How's that for a happy Sunday? That is my view that I get to walk down to every single morning. Hello, Florida. I love you. All right, everybody. So I'm gonna hopefully keep this to 45 minutes, an hour, but every single time I have tried to put a time limit on any of these classes that I do, it usually goes over. So I promise I will try to keep this to 45 minutes to an hour, but no promises. So what we'll do is I'll go through this slideshow with you guys, basically giving you the free training on how to work with breath work and release trauma so you can manifest your dream life. And I'm going to go through that training with you. And then at the end, I will open it up for questions. So at the end, you can just post in the comments any questions that come up for you. Okay, so again, I've only used StreamYard a couple times, so we are going to see what happens when I go to share my screen. I'm going to share it and share the slideshow with you guys. It's really helpful if you keep posting in the comments, just letting me know that you can see it and letting me know that it's working. All right. Here we go, guys. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I'm super excited about this. I have never given out a total access to my blueprint like this, so it's really exciting. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to share the screen, and we're going to see how fantastically this works. What are you guys doing today? What are you doing on your Sunday? Tell me what you're up to. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just reading the screen. I'm just trying to get this to so I can share this with you. Thanks for being patient. Okay, so here we go. So we are going to be able to share. Awesome, look at that. Let me see here. Returning. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just getting started on the slideshow and listening to what you guys are all doing on Sunday. Awesome. Reading a book and meditating, returning home from Peru, listening to the Breath Queen. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here again. So it looks like you can see my screen, at least from my view. It looks like you can see what I'm sharing. So I'm going to go full screen on this, so you won't be able to see me at all. You'll just be able to see the screen. And we're going to go. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Awesome. Okay. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to becoming a master manifester. We're going to go through my blueprint that I have created for my program, the Authentic Life Blueprint. And I'm all about sharing value with people. It's really important to me that you walk away from this with some value. So I do have a freebie at the end that everybody on this call will get. But more importantly, I want you to walk away with some actual tips and tools and tactics to start implementing into your life. It's really important to me. So like I said, if you have questions that come up, just write them down and we're going to have a Q&A at the end of this, okay? All right, so this is all about moving into total alignment and authenticity, releasing stored trauma, gaining clarity and confidence, and manifesting your dream life using breath work. And I mean in all areas of your life. So today we're going to go over the strategy that I teach inside this Authentic Life Blueprint, and we'll dive much deeper into the specifics of it later on in the slideshow. But just to give you an idea, the strategy we use inside this Authentic Life Blueprint is broken down into 3 different phases. The roots, where you are working within your lower energetic chakra system, being in your body in the 3D, releasing this stored, stuck energy and trauma that you store inside those lower energy centers, building your confidence, who you are as a human being, your willpower, boundaries, learning all about radical responsibility and what exactly that means in your life, and being comfortable and confident in your body. The biggest thing that I would see people want to do is skip over this part and go up to the branches. But it's really important that you work with these roots first, and that you can use this energy and align this energy being in your body instead of just out of it. So that's why we do roots first and branches second, which is working within your upper energetic chakra system, connecting to your source, the 5D, listening to your intuition. The power of surrender is a huge one. Building your manifestation muscle, creating a vision of your future, and using your voice to step into your power. That is all things that we cover in the branches phase. And then the 3rd phase is alignment, working within your heart center, where both of those meet in the middle, where you can embody both realms, where you experience unconditional self-love, something I've worked very hard on in my own life, and worthiness, which is a really big one, and embodying this passion and purpose, your passion and purpose, which ultimately leads you into stepping into your dream life. So I'm going to go into each of these phases and break them down for you more as we go through this slideshow. This is super value packed. I recommend having a pen and paper, taking notes, turn off all distractions. I'm giving you this for free. So I want you guys, like I said, to be able to walk away with something and start applying this. So turn off all distractions, put the kids away, put the husbands away, put the pets away. This is time for you. It's something that I teach you inside the blueprint, that it's really important you take this time for you. All right, so who is all in to learn more? Let's see. Let me see if I can go to the comments here. Hi guys, are you ready? Are you ready to hear more? Tell me if you are ready to hear more about this blueprint. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So here we go. All right. So in my own personal journey, I found that there was a lot of people who felt really stuck, especially coming from somebody who I had no sort of spiritual background or metaphysics or quantum physics or anything like that. I didn't have a background in that. So I kind of came in as an observer. And what I noticed that many women who are on a quote unquote spiritual path feel stuck and frustrated with trying to just do the work, understanding the concepts, but lacking the application. That's a really big one. Reading all the books, going to all the retreats, and then their life just continues to stay the same. They're constantly looking to healers to heal them or somebody else to heal them. They want to get out of their body, but find it really difficult to be in their body, always questioning themselves, wondering if they are doing it right or wrong. They really lack self-trust. They lack a guide or a blueprint to turn information into transformation. So I noticed this with so many women and men too, but they could go to all of these things, they could gain all this knowledge, but then they couldn't actually take that knowledge and apply it, because in the spiritual realm, a lot of it is very abstract. It leaves you feeling, at least for somebody like me, like, okay, I need like step 1 through step 10. Tell me, that's great that, I learn how to surrender and we're all one, but what does that mean when I'm working at a job that I hate every day? Or what does that mean when my kid's crying because he's getting bullied at school? Or what does that mean in those situations? How do I actually apply that knowledge into my life so my life can actually improve? And so authentic women who are in full alignment, who are embodying this knowledge and using it to transform their lives, are in full alignment only after they are working with these lower energy centers and releasing stored and stuck energy and trauma that is within your energetic body, and your physical is probably manifested in some physical way. It did for me in the physical body. Releasing limiting beliefs, gaining clarity and confidence is huge, comfortable in their body, and know how to balance both what I call the 3D and 5D, which we'll talk about more, living to their fullest potential, turning, like I said, that information into transformation, and really manifesting their dream life on autopilot, letting it work for you instead of against you. So those of you that are here right now, settle in and stick around. If this is you, if you're frustrated or stagnant with your current meditation practice and you're ready to level it up, I talked to a lot of you that talked to me about this, meditating every day and all of these things you're supposed to be doing, but you're ready to take it up a notch. You've gone to many workshops or retreats, hired all the kinds of healers, read all the books, but like I said, you're still struggling to actually implement that information into your life. You feel blocked within your energetic system, within your chakra system. You know that there's blocks there, but you don't know how to get rid of them. You know you have this stored trauma within your body. You've tried other things to release it, but nothing has shifted. You feel stuck, and maybe that manifestation just doesn't work for you. Hint, hint, you are manifesting all of the time. It's just if you're doing it subconsciously or consciously. You don't know how to marry the 3D and 5D. And like I said, we're going to dive deeper into that so that you can actually create lasting transformation in your life. You want to make big changes, but you are afraid of what those around you may think. That is a huge one. I talk to so many women on so many phone calls that know they're sort of ready to step into a different path, but they're terrified of what their friends or their family may think. I've been there and done that. You are committed to doing the hard things to get out of your Groundhog Day. Not everybody is willing and ready to do that. I get it. I wasn't for a long time too. So this will not help you if you're not willing to do that, because I never offer anybody an easy pill ever. It's going to be work, but it's going to be 1,000% worth it. And more importantly, it's going to last. It's not going to be a quick fix. You feel great for a while, similar to going to a really high energy retreat or workshop, any of those kind, and then you're on this high, and then you come home, and then the high wears off, and then you're like, shit, what do I do now? You know the spiritual concepts, but you're looking for a step-by-step guide for integration. You want to make an impact in the world. You're ready to be a leader and manifest your most authentic life. I wholeheartedly believe that we don't need any more followers in this world. We need leaders, people that are willing to step up and use their voice and to teach people and to show people that there's more, and that the paradigms of the old aren't working anymore, and that we fundamentally need to shift these paradigms. But the most important thing is that you cannot shift that. You cannot be a leader until you shift it within your own life. All right, so we went over who this training's for. I will tell you who this training is not for. If you only want to learn how to have mystical experiences, but not how to embody them, this will not help you. This is showing you how to take those sort of amazing out-of-body 5D experiences and how to apply them into your life. You want to complain about where your life is, but aren't willing to try something different to change it. This is where I talk about fighting for your limitations. I can't fight for you if you're just trying to fight with me and argue for your limitations, because we are all capable of creating change in our life, no matter what your story is. You aren't serious or committed to making the changes necessary. Obviously, nothing's going to impact you if you aren't committed to doing things. I've done it in my own life because I am a dog on a bone, and I am 100% committed when I put my mind to something. So that is a huge part of being able to implement change into your life. You think you need only the science or only the magic to create transformation? You don't. You need both, actually. You think you know everything there is to know about breathwork, spiritual concepts, what works and what doesn't. If you're a know-it-all that is not open to learning new information, that is not open to challenge what you may think you believe right now about certain things, if you're not willing to hear me, then I can't help you. And this training's not for you. If you already know everything, awesome. More power to you. Go rock it, sisters. If you want to learn a little bit more and uncover maybe something that you haven't yet, then please stick around. Aren't willing to be the student with a curious outlook. You want to stay stuck in your story. Can't help you. If you want to hold on to that story of why you can't change, I can't help you. Get mad when I offer you this 45-minute free training of this system that has helped me literally manifest everything in my life, and then complain when I make you an offer for an exclusive opportunity to work with me in this founders group that I'm launching. Because be prepared, I will. I'm going to tell you how you can work with me in this new program that I'm creating right now. But I'm giving you all of this free training because I'm really passionate about, like I said, offering value to people and showing you that it is possible. You can stay until the end for a Q&A. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this to 45 minutes, but no promises. Before we dive into the actual tactics and the blueprint, I just want to give you guys, for those of you joining me, I think there was quite a few that wanted to join this live stream that doesn't know anything about me or my story. So I wanted to let you know what qualifies me to deliver this information. Like, I'm not just somebody that took some training and said, okay, here you go, but didn't actually do it in my own life. I don't think that's what makes true and lasting leaders. I believe that you have to first experience it for yourself, do those things for yourself before you can tell anybody else what they should be doing. This is something I say to the people I work with all the time. I will never ask you to do anything I haven't done or I'm not willing to do in my own life. I don't believe in that. I believe that we, like I said, number one, the work has to start and end with us. And only in that space can you offer that guide and information for other people to follow. So I started my journey when I picked up a book called You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. At the time I was living in this really tiny town in North Idaho. It's called Kellogg, Idaho. The population was about 2,500 people. I grew up in Spokane, Washington, which is a pretty big city. So moving to a really tiny town was quite the change. I was in an extremely dysfunctional marriage. I probably knew within my heart the whole time that it wasn't right for either one of us. But of course, all the thoughts and all the fear and all the doubt kept me in it. I had a secret 10-year pain pill addiction that nobody knew about. I basically was living a double life and no one knew, but it ruled my entire life. Every day was focused on making sure that I had enough pain pills just to get through the day. I had absolutely no self-confidence at all. I did not believe in myself. In fact, the marriage had gotten so dysfunctional that I really believed that I couldn't trust myself to live a life beyond that marriage. I didn't trust myself enough to think that I wouldn't fuck up my own life if left to my own devices. So I really was 100% dependent on him, dependent on where I was. I had no confidence that I could do something on my own. Super far from living an authentic life, and woke up every morning knowing there had to be more. I was thinking about this the other day. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I was thinking about, an average day when I lived in that life, or even when we would celebrate holidays and things like that. And there was this feeling deep inside of me that almost as if it was like fake. Like I knew deep down that this was not the life I should be living, but I didn't even know how to put that into words at the time. I didn't even know how to conceptualize that or what that meant, because I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I thought I was doing what everybody does, which is get married, have kids, have a good job, save for retirement, all of these things. And yet inside, it felt as though everything was totally wrong with what I was doing. And so that really tortured myself even more, because I thought, okay, here on the outside, everything looks great, but on the inside, everything feels awful. I stayed busy 100% of the time, taking care of everybody else and trying to make my life look good on the outside. Like I said, when inside I was dying, I was living in the passenger seat of my own life. And so I stayed busy because I didn't want to have to recognize that voice inside of me that said, you're not supposed to be living this life. I was too afraid of even being honest with myself about that. I was too afraid to even admit that to myself. It was really difficult. Like I said, being able to just be honest with myself was challenging. And so if I stayed really busy, then I didn't have to look at that. I didn't have to be honest with myself. So I started meditating after reading this book, and I dove down the rabbit hole of spirituality and personal development. I was doing daily practices even when I didn't feel like it. I was determined to have what so many called a mystical experience, so that would magically change my life. I would watch anything I could get my hands on YouTube. I mean, I was constantly filling my head with all of this knowledge from all these different leaders and teachers. And I wasn't a spiritual person before, and it felt like coming home. It felt like it was the missing piece for me in my life. Like, oh my gosh, it all makes sense to me now. And so I started doing these practices every single day and changing little things in my life. I would change my routine. I would change the way I drove to work, and work was 5 minutes away because it was this tiny town in Kellogg, Idaho, but I would just drive a different road. I was doing everything I could to change up my routine, to change up my habit, to do something different. And I finally did at my first meditation retreat that shifted me profoundly. This was, almost a year into my journey of just kind of doing this work on my own every day. The only person I had to talk about it was my mom at the time. And so I'd go to her house and we would talk about the books and we would talk about all these concepts. And she would send me all sorts of emails about, Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle and all of these amazing leaders. I found Tony Robbins. I found Brene Brown. I found Glennon Doyle, who's my gal. I loved her, still do. And it was like I couldn't get enough. I just wanted to consume more and more and more. And so when I went to my first advanced meditation retreat, I had an awakening. I had energy move through my body. It's really hard to put it into words. It's unlike anything I've really ever heard anyone else describe it as. It wasn't like a kundalini. It was like my body was being plugged into an electrical socket, and this super high frequency energy moved through my entire body, and it shifted me profoundly. So much so that I was able to leave the marriage. I quit the pain pill addiction cold turkey on my own a week later. And for the first time in my life, I swear to God, you guys, this isn't, it sounds cheesy, but I actually felt real love for myself. I never even knew what that meant. I mean, I knew what it meant. I knew the concept of it, but I never knew what that actually felt like in real life, in my body, falling in love with who I am unconditionally, no shame, no, I should have done this or I should have done that. It really was unconditional love for myself. And because of that, I met the love of my life. I actually wrote him down in my journal, and we began a life together, embracing this 5D work in our everyday lives. But in the beginning, I still had a really hard time being in my body. I didn't want any responsibility. I didn't want to feel grounded. And something else happened. I started to actually not enjoy having sex with this man that I loved with every ounce of my being. I was too busy wanting to be out there in the field and the 5D and all of that stuff than wanting to be actually in my body. And that really fundamentally sent me even deeper down this path of figuring out and understanding why I met this person I love more than anything. I fell in love with myself. I am doing all these changes in my life and yet still struggled with that. And it took a deep dive into what I found later on after I had my first massive trauma release after a friend telling me about breath work. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I knew something major shifted and I needed to do more. I had this at a retreat. I had this really massive, my body shook for like 5 minutes. It was uncontrollable. And it was after applying what my friend had told me about Wim Hof, this really simple belly breathing, just rhythmic belly breathing combined with the breathwork exercises I was doing at the retreat, and had this massive release. I didn't know what it was, but I went home and I went, oh my gosh, I need to find out everything about what just happened to me, because it was even deeper. It was an even deeper layer than what I had experienced before. So I started researching everything I could find about breath work, holotropic breath work, rebirthing, transformational breath work, Wim Hof, everything that I could find, which eventually led me to Soma breath work. I fell in love with the concepts right away and was astounded at what could happen within my body and mind by practicing it daily. It really did feel like the missing piece to bridge what I called the 3D and 5D worlds. I was able to start feeling comfortable and grounded in my body, which was huge. And after another huge energetic release, I talked about this in a Facebook post I did the other day, I was finally able to enjoy sex with my partner. It wasn't just the breath work, and that's what we're going to dive into. It was actually practices that I did on the outside as well as the inside. But this breath work was the reason why I fell in love with it, is because it was a physical thing. It was where meditation, it felt like I was going out there. Breath work was kind of allowing me to stay out there, but at the same time being in my body when I did it. And all these kind of experiences, these deep 5D experiences I'd had before, they were always pretty physical for me, meaning I would feel this really high frequency. I would feel this really high energy moving into me, but I also would go really far out, what we would say in that community. I would go really far out to where I really would have a hard time sort of grounding myself back into my body. And I knew that if I continued to do that and I didn't do something different, that I wouldn't be able to move forward and create what I wanted to create, which was eventually helping other people. And I had to be grounded enough in order to do so, in order to help others create the life that I'd been able to create. So I want you guys to know I did start from zero. I've talked about this on my Facebook page before. I had no experience with meditation, breathwork, spirituality, personal development. No one around me was doing what I was doing. And when I actually did decide to shift my life, I lost almost all of the relationships with my friends and family. They, thought I had gone nuts, thought I had gone crazy, lost my mind, joined a cult, all of the things. And so when I talk about these concepts, when I talk about sharing this information with people, it is truthfully coming from a place of I didn't know any of this, and I just kept going. I had to do really fucking hard things in my life to get to where I am now, which is why I'm so freaking passionate about sharing this information and sharing the blueprint that literally helped me create my dream life in every way and every aspect of that, and my dream self. And just so you guys know, a little teaser for the end, all of those friends and family that at first I lost has come full circle. And, so I went from zero to creating these amazing relationships, deeper relationships with my loved ones and with friends from the past and with my kids and with myself. Like I said, being able to have this relationship with myself, this self-love that I have never experienced before in my life, being comfortable in who I am, being comfortable in my body, and then being able to create a business where I am helping other people do exactly the same thing. I knew that was always my passion. I knew I was always meant to come here to help people in some way, but I never knew how that would play out until I started doing the work on myself and going deep within myself is when those answers came. living my dream in all areas of my life and making an impact. So as I said before, my life in the beginning was starting to change and transform and all these amazing things, but I didn't enjoy sex. And so it felt like, how can I do all of this and love all of this in my life and create all of this? And yet there is still this in between, this person that I love, that I've never felt so loved by. And in this process of doing breath work and doing these steps that we're going to talk about, I was able to release that trapped, stored trauma. I was able to release this paradigm of sex that I had lived with, that I was culturally conditioned to, and be able to step into feeling so good inside of me and releasing this trauma, that I could then finally know what it felt like to truly enjoy sex. I had actually had no real concept of what sex could be or was my entire life. It went from, having a lot of partners in my younger ages because I was seeking love on the outside and couldn't say no, to not really having a lot of it in my marriage because it was kind of frowned upon, to actually having a healthy relationship with sex and with myself. And so because of that, I really do believe, because I was able to get grounded inside of my body, I was able to start really creating things on another level. And like I said, making an impact on other people's lives. And that's when we started the Freedom Project with my love of my life, my partner, and our very best friend. And we were able to create this space where people can come to and create actual lasting transformation in their lives. And for the last 3 years, we've got to watch others experience the results of this. So I'm just going to quickly read through these. Wowie, my whole head is still wild. Can't describe it. I really can't. No words except thank you. Thought I would post a video here to talk to you about how Beyond Limits has really given me the push I needed to stick to my authentic self, stick to my power. Beyond Limits has put me on a rocket launching pad, and I've been flying since January, faster than I ever have done previously in all that search for myself, because this stuff works. Thank you, Em. Today convinced me to start daily breath work. Wow, where do I start? Well, Miss M, shit hit the fan again. Your breath work cleared out all of the shit that was in Ellie's way. I knew I needed your breath work ceremony to come back into my power, but whoa, I had no idea I would actually be empowered enough to break it off with my BF at the end of the night. I feel like I simply surrendered into your breath work, asked the universe to give me the strength and lead me to the best way of ending this. I did not expect it to unfold within hours. I'm mind blown. Thank you. I learned a technique that worked fast and effective to change my state and shake off negativity to restart the day. I found breathwork was very beneficial for digestion and made it easy to understand how to properly implement breathwork into daily life. Clearly explained all the great benefits. So are you guys ready to do the same? Here we go. We're going to dive into the strategy and the actual system that I've been talking about. Give me a ready in the chat. By having this blueprint at your fingertips, imagine where you could be in 1 year. Consider this your fast pass. I was just talking to our creative director, Stanton, and he was saying a thing popped up on his Facebook, a memory from a year ago, is when he actually first met us down in Florida. And I just could not believe all of the changes and the shifts that have happened in the last year. So make no mistake, a lot in your life can change in a year. So now we're going to talk about the strategy that I've used in my own life, and I work with others to do the same. So the strategy is breath work, which I will call the 5D, plus action steps, which I will call the 3D. And that is what equals the transformation. You can't just have one or the other. You have to have both, in my experience. So why breath work? Breath work, as opposed to only doing meditation, which, as I said, quiets your mind, breath work engages the body. It works on all levels, and there is no one size fits all. You can use your breath in many different ways to experience many different results, all the way from physical issues, including healing anxiety, digestion problems, sleeping disorders, reducing blood pressure, and autoimmune diseases, to increasing creativity, creating flow states, releasing stored trauma, opening up your chakra system, manifestation, all the way to DMT-like experiences and deeply profound spiritual awakenings, which is all of the things you're going to experience in this Authentic Life Blueprint course. That's what we use breath work all the way from from, like I said, very physical issues all the way up to these deeply profound experiences, and being able to use your breath to do all of those things in a very synchronized way. I lay it out for you in a very synchronized way in the Authentic Life Blueprint. It's yours. Your breath is yours, and it's free. You can use it at any time of the day to literally change your state, push past fear, change your energy, and ultimately to change your life. It is your number one tool you have at your disposal. No one can take it from you. You don't have to pay for it. I swear to God to you, Scott and I do it consistently, not just our breathwork sessions, but even during the day, if we're having a moment, whatever else, we use our breath to change our state when we know we need to. So I'm going to quickly go over the 4 breathwork techniques that I teach. I teach these at a very basic level in my Breathwork 101 mini series, which is self-paced online 4 modules, and it dives a little deeper into these specific breathwork techniques, which is rhythmic belly breathing, learning how to breathe from your diaphragm, which is what I said all that I did in that first huge trauma release was just rhythmic belly breathing, breathing to a rhythm, which means you don't even have to have music, but breathing to a count, because everything in nature is in rhythm. So if you can count to a count of 4 in and then a count of 4 out, or a count of 4 in and a count of 8 out. So it's this sort of rhythmic breathing. And then the Mula Bandha, which is the pelvic floor. That is learning how to work with those pelvic floor muscles to move energy from these lower chakra systems, which is where you contain all of that trauma, all of that dense energy. The pelvic floor is the biggest tool you have in being able to work with that energy and move that energy. And then breath retention, which is holding your breath on the exhale. That is really the basis of Soma breath work, because it's based in pranayama yoga, and it's really focused on the massive benefits of just holding your breath on the exhale. It's a practice I use every single day. And then heart coherent breathing. I used to teach heart coherence and heart coherent breathing first, and what I realized is that people that don't practice having elevated emotion, because heart coherent breathing is all about using your breath and creating elevated emotions. But if you're not practicing these elevated emotions all of the time, it can be very challenging to just bring them up at the drop of a dime. I really struggled with that the first year of diving down this work, because you were so used to living in fight or flight and these lowered, more dense emotions that you don't know what it feels like anymore. And so it takes practice, and it takes allowing your body to feel safe enough to open up your heart, right? And so we go through these other things first so your body can relax enough that it feels safe to open your heart. So here, again, are just some of the results from using either all 4 of those techniques in one session or using individual ones at different times. But here's just some of the results that the people that I have worked with personally have experienced from using these breathwork techniques. I love that I can do a breathwork session in place of a meditation and feel like I've gone just as deep. It's another tool to truly learn more about yourself. I've never found anything better than breathwork to get to sleep at night. I think everyone, including children, need to learn this. Oh my God, this breath work. It was truly like nothing I've ever experienced. I've gone deep into some amazing meditations before. I felt tremendous energy moving through my body. This was actually one that came to one of my one-day breathwork workshops. There was a palpable sense that I was releasing exactly what I needed to be cleared without any conscious thought or effort at all, which is huge in this process. When I fully surrendered to the force moving within, through, and all around me, I actually felt my empowered self, as I'm now calling her, come in and expand throughout the energetic space that had just opened up in my energy field. I can only describe this as absolutely phenomenal. There really are no words. At that moment, I was literally weeping with such an overwhelming sense of joy and relief and release. My biggest takeaway is that the power I have over my body is limitless, and that this is exciting to experience. Thank you, Em. I keep sharing this because her breathwork classes are fabulous and literally life and body changing in all the best ways. I love it and practice it every single day. I have now not only experienced energy moving through me as a result of the breath work like never before, but more importantly, I'm no longer resisting it and waking up each day looking forward to it, to what I was experiencing as a result of it. That was from Lisa. And she did my Breathwork 101 mini series because she hated that she was avoiding breathwork. She didn't want to do it. She thought she hated it. And so she really wanted to move past that block. And so for her, that was one of the biggest wins, is learning to love it so much so that she wanted to do it every single day. So to go back to the strategy, the breath work, which is what I call a 5D, the action steps 3D and equals transformation. So the first thing that I want to explain, because some people don't know what I'm talking about when I say 3D and 5D, I want to break that down for you so it's very clear. So 3D means the three-dimensional reality, the world we see, taste, touch, feel, and smell. Matter, denseness, Newtonian physics is what we perceive to be our physical reality. But the mind and body hide and control your inner soul when you are feeling stuck in dense 3D, when you can't expand beyond that, when you can't focus on and bring in energy into your body, when you're just sort of stuck in this really dense 3D. 5D is fifth dimensional reality. It's frequency, it's energy, there's no matter. It's a reality of only awareness and creation and access to higher and higher frequencies, the highest being source, oneness, no separation. So the 5D is when you literally close your eyes and you're in the blackness and that's it. There's no matter there. It's just in the mind, right? So the 5D, the thing that I always have everybody focus on that I work with is frequency, to think of it in terms of frequency. So I share this all of the time in all of my one-day workshops and with everyone I work with personally, is to get everyone to think of this as just frequency. It's different levels of frequency that you're always experiencing. So in these lower, really dense frequencies, if you're really dense in the 3D, you know what I mean? When you just feel heavy, you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You feel most likely this guilt and this shame, this grief, fear, anger that resides in these lower chakra systems that you haven't been able to clear. So if you don't clear these lower chakra systems, you're going to feel this really heavy energy. I always say it's like being magnetized to the center of the earth. It's like you can't feel light or you're just feeling very heavy. And as you move up in frequency, that is where you get to start to experience these higher frequencies, which is where manifestation starts to happen quicker, which is where you start to feel connected to your source, whatever your source is, and where you can start to listen to your intuition and be guided by your heart and those sort of things. But you can't experience those if that channel isn't open, if you're experiencing these really low, dense energies, these really low, dense frequencies. So it looks similar to the light spectrum. So if you think of it like the red is a really long wavelength. It's very low frequency. It's very low energy. That's why the root chakra is red. And then the sort of faster frequency on the light spectrum is short wavelengths. It's really high frequency, it's really high energy. And I know in some of the deep experience I've had, I have felt that move through my little tiny body, and it is intense. It's a level of surrender I don't even know how to put into words, because it's opening your mind up to let this really high frequency come into this really dense 3D body. So that light spectrum, if you look at that, is actually identical to our chakra system, to our energetic system. We have a physical system and an energetic system. I don't love using the word chakra, but it's what we have right now to describe this energetic system within our 3D body. And so, like I said, same thing. It starts at the root chakra with the red, this really long wavelengths, really low frequency, really dense, all the way up to these really fast frequencies, this really high energy. So the chakra system, just to break it down for you guys that may not know, it's, as I said, our energetic system within our physical system. From Wikipedia, Sanskrit meaning wheel or circle, chakras are various focal points used in a variety of ancient meditation practices, collectively denominated as Tantra, or the esoteric or inner traditions of Hinduism. This system originates from India as far back as 500 BC in ancient texts called Vedas, which are considered the most ancient scriptures of Hinduism. It is believed that each wheel corresponds to specific organs and each have a physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual effect on your life. In other words, these energy centers regulate all functions of your mind, body, and spirit. You can think of these chakras as valves, either letting energy flow in or flow out. If they're closed, if you aren't working with them, if they aren't open, then energy cannot move freely through them, meaning you will hold on to this very dense anger, shame, guilt within this system, which is exactly why I discovered that I was hating sex. One of the reasons was I wasn't fully allowing myself to be in my body. And if I wasn't in my body, I couldn't experience and work with these lower chakras, this energy that is really dense within our energetic body and our physical body. As I said, for me, it manifested as chronic UTI infections. And that was two parts for me. It was feeling like I didn't want to have sex, but the other program was I didn't know how to say no. I wasn't confident, secure, and self-confident enough to say no. And so I was manifesting these things, but I was also, had opened up enough in the upper chakra system that the lower stuff could come up, that I was invited to take a look at these subconscious things that were going on within my energetic body that I didn't have any conscious awareness of. But when they're aligned and open, energy can constantly flow freely. The biggest mistake most people make is that they only want to work within one of those systems, as I talked about, but you have to engage both to experience the massive transformation in your life. It's like I said, why I've been able to have the life that I have now. If you're stuck in the 3D and you're not working in the 5D, you can't get rid of or work with these subconscious beliefs. You're going to continue to trap and store this energy and trauma. You're going to stay in default mode. You're going to struggle with manifestation. You're not going to be able to move out of the body. So you're going to be so in your body that you can't have these sort of mystical experiences, which you need to have to be able to connect to source and be able to manifest. But if you're only stuck in the 5D, you're also going to stay in default mode because you're not working with your belief system, your behaviors, your identities. So you can't push past edges and comfort zones and push past fear. You're going to have the same behavior patterns. You're going to struggle with your relationships. It's one of the biggest things I saw with people that would go to these meditation retreats, that they would be so far out into the 5D world, they couldn't operate in their body. They couldn't deal with relationships because they weren't working with these lower chakras. The third chakra, which is your willpower, which is your boundaries, which is your personal power, your seat of confidence. You can't take action steps to move towards your vision. You are not comfortable in your body. This is very common with people who have experienced trauma in their first 7 years of their life, because they learn to sort of go out of their body and their mind. So for them, that's a really safe place to go. What feels unsafe is actually being in your body. And so, if you're always going out and having these amazing experiences, but you're not learning how to feel safe and secure in your body, you will never make lasting, deep transformation in your life. But when you're working with both, you can release the stored trauma. You can change your brain. You can change your body. You literally become a new person, connected to your source, balance, alignment, knowing how to walk the line between intention and surrender, confident, self-love, authentic, meaning you live life on your terms, intuitive, and basically manifesting your dream life. So here is the system that I give you in the Authentic Life Blueprint. So we work with your roots, as I talked about, the 3D, the lower chakra system. And then only after working with that is when we go to the branches, the sort of 5D. And then alignment, connecting that in the heart, which equals your authentic life. So let's just be clear, what is an authentic life? So for me, this is my definition. Yours may be different. But for me, it's being fully aligned energetically and physically in both the 3D and the 5D in my life, being fully aligned within those two, living your best life in all areas, not just one or another. That doesn't mean that the work never ends. I am constantly a work in progress, but it's just deeper layers of letting go. I've now moved up. People work with me. I say it all the time, new levels, new devils. You're just constantly moving up levels, digging deeper, letting go of more, but you're living as your true self. And honestly, that for me has been the biggest part, is I know in my life, I am truly living me in every way. I don't let anybody else control me. I don't live in the passenger seat of my life anymore. I live in the fucking driver's seat. I live life on my terms, surrounded by those you consciously choose to be, who support the highest version of you. Everybody I have in my life now, I have consciously chose to be in my life, that support me in my mission, that support me in being the highest version of me. Having boundaries, loving and appreciating your body, mastering manifestation, awareness, passion, and purpose, an abundant life in all ways. That to me is what an authentic life is. And just to give you a short example, I was interviewing a woman, and we were talking about, her dream life. And I asked her, and this was so poignant for me, but I asked her, if you were to wake up, she was talking about the friends she had in her life, and that she feels afraid to shine her light because the friends kind of get jealous, and then they, will say things. And so she's afraid to kind of shine that light really big because it makes other people feel uncomfortable. And I asked her, if you were to wake up tomorrow in your dream life, meaning everything is perfect, how many of those friends you have right now in your life would you take? How many of those would you wake up with? And she said 0, meaning she is surrounded by people that she actually authentically doesn't want to be. And that was really profound for me, because I think so many of you out there are doing this, and you think that you need to be surrounded by these people, including family, that aren't good for you, that have their own stuff to deal with, and yet you continue to keep them in your life. So for me, it's really important that I help people with this, because you will not be the best version of yourself if you are surrounded by people that don't want you to be. That is what I know for sure. So roots, what I talk about, the 3D is the lower chakra system, these sort of in your body human energy centers that we work with first, to align those first. And then we move to the branches, as I said, sort of the 5D, this upper chakra system, learning about manifestation and connecting to source and all of these amazing things. But if you think of a tree, and if you think of a tree that has way too many branches but no roots, those branches will eventually fall over. And I also compare this to in your life, if you're one of those people that want to be the caretaker to everybody and want to hold up all of these branches and do all of these things, but you don't have solid roots, those will fall over. You will feel like, oh my God, how do I do this? You will feel scattered. That was a huge one for me. I constantly felt scattered. I had no clarity. It wasn't clear on anything. And because I had no solid roots, I had no self-confidence, self-love. I had no radical responsibility. I had no willpower. I had no personal power in myself. And so I was all branches and no roots. And even moving into this, the spiritual realm and moving into that within myself, I was very good at going out and having these deeply profound experiences. But as I said, it was still reflecting in my root system and my lower chakras that I wasn't fully enveloped in my body yet either. So that's why it's really important to go for the roots first and then build the branches once you have that deep rooted system. And then where do those two meet? They meet in the heart chakra. They meet in the center. That is where you can pull these dense energies up and you can pull these higher energies down that meet in your heart center when you are fully and completely aligned in your being. Because as I tell everybody, you are in a 3D body. You came here to experience life, not to try to get away from that. So I am so passionate about teaching people how to experience these really profound experiences, but being able to take them and create a life that you are proud of, that you wake up every day being inspired. Even when you're scared, you're inspired and you are living your true purpose, your most authentic life, living in full alignment. And I just wanted to throw this in there because I thought it was really awesome. So the left side of the picture is actually our lungs, what it looks like in our young lungs in a scan. And if you look at the branches of a tree, they look very similar. So breath work, trees, alignment, it all kind of lines up. I just want to check in with everybody. We're almost halfway through this, more than halfway through this. So I want to make sure everybody's here. Are you guys comment if you're still here? Say hello. Are you enjoying this so far? Like I said, make sure if anyone who has joined sort of halfway in, I'm going to do a Q&A at the end. So be sure to just write any questions down that you may have and we'll go over them at the end. So you guys are here. Hello. Hey, 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 hello. You guys are all here. Awesome, 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 awesome. I love it. Okay, so are you guys enjoying this? Is it beneficial to you? Let me know. Okay. Awesome. All right. So, as I said, I just thought this was a fun little picture to share with you guys. And again, this is why I love breathwork so much. So now we're going to dive into, in the blueprint program, what we go into. So each chakra, each energy center, we actually go through one at a time each week. And we start with the root chakra, then the next week is a sacral, the next week is a solar, and so on and so forth. So this phase one in roots, in the root chakra, we deal with becoming aware of the default self, the identity that was created within you the first 7 years of your life, and the belief systems that you were given, and the behaviors that you were given, and the identity that you were given that was actually not conscious to you. It came from your parents or your caretakers or whoever were closest to you, because in those first 7 years, you were in a really low brain state. In other words, you're kind of in the state of hypnosis. So everything that goes in, you're taking in, and you don't have a filter to say, oh, I don't know if I want to take that belief or not. In other words, I'll give you an example. If you're, and this can happen in good ways, in positive ways, and negative ways. So if your parents tell you that you have really big eyes, or you're very good at math, or you're not good at sports, or whatever those may be, you are taking that in with no point of reference. So it just becomes literally imprinted into your brain, but not just in your brain, into your root chakra. That is where we begin to store this sort of dense energy. If you've had trauma, or you didn't even have to have major trauma, just not having loving parents that were there for you and reassured you and things like that, you will hold on to those in your brain, but in your root chakra as well. So the first part is really beginning to understand the default self. You are not, I promise you, who you think you are. I used to tell, and people used to joke all the time, that I was a clean freak, that I was like OCD clean freak, when in reality, I was just a clean freak because I was grasping for any type of control in my life. I had no control over my life those first 7 years, obviously. And so cleaning for me was trying to just grasp onto some sense of control. So I'm actually not a clean freak. I do enjoy a clean space. I do like having a clean space, but now I recognize the energy I do it in, just enjoying having a clean space, and the energy I do it when I'm sort of in the old self, in the old Emily. So working with this stuck, dense energy, we will work a lot with the pelvic floor, the rhythmic breathing, and the pelvic floor in the breath work, and moving this energy and working this energy and making sure that you feel safe and secure to do these things. And then we have specific action steps that go along with working with that root chakra. So as I said, every single week as we talk about each chakra, I give you a specific breath work exercise and then specific tasks that you have to do with your eyes open that work with that energy, that work with that root chakra. And then the second one is the sacral chakra. This is working with your sexual energy. This is where it made a huge difference for me, getting comfortable in my body, who I am as a sexual being, letting go of fear, letting go of cultural conditioning I had around sex and what that meant for me and what I was supposed to do. And that for me, sex was always about the man and never about me, and learning to receive and enjoy my body and knowing what I enjoy and feeling confident and comfortable. One of the exercises that I did that I have other people do is going and buying an outfit or a pair of shoes that you feel you're most empowered in, that you feel comfortable in your sexuality, that you feel good in, not for anybody else. I always say that I wear the things I do and I do the things I do, not for anybody else, but for me, because when I wear them, I embody that. And that looks different for everybody. For some, it may be these really sexy heels. For others, it may be like not heels, but if for them, it feels sexy. It feels good. It feels good in their body. And then the next one obviously is the solar plexus, which is your personal power. This is one of my favorite chakras to work with. It's your confidence. It's the one right before your heart center. So you must open this in order to get to your heart chakra. We use a lot of breath retention when working with the solar plexus. So in this module, it's really working with holding your breath on the exhale, which strengthens your willpower, your boundaries. It turns down the dial on your fear response. Most people have a extremely overactive fear response because of the world that we live in today. And so this breath retention is really honing in on focusing on turning that dial down on their fear response. And not just that, allowing yourself to feel fear, but then pushing, one step past that, being able to still feel fear and then still take that step in your life that you know that you have to take. This is your confidence, who you are as a human being. I know for me, most of my life, I felt strange. I felt different. I didn't feel like everybody else. And I thought that was a bad thing. I thought that was my fault, my problem. Like, why am I not fitting in? I always had a lot of friends, but even though I was surrounded by people, I felt very alone. I felt like, why do I not think like them, act like them? And like I said, I thought that was on me until I learned to embrace every part of me and really, truly love all the weirdness and quirks about me. You can ask Scott. We have lots of jokes about it. Like, sitting on the toilet and brushing my teeth and then putting that picture out on Facebook, because there you go. That's me. So really being comfortable in who you are. And then as we move into the second phase, the branches, this is where we sort of get to play, as I say, in the 5D. And so the first one we'll work with is your crown chakra. And as I said, what I work with people on is pulling these lower chakras up, this energy up, working with each of them up into the middle, and then pulling these upper chakras down into the middle. That's why the heart chakra comes last. So we go from 1, 2, 3 up to 7, which is your crown chakra, which is connecting to your source, whatever source means to you, whether you call it God, spirit, source, universe, whatever that is for you. I will never tell anybody what it should be. It's yours. It's your relationship with whatever you think that is, or whatever you call it, but the truth, actually the real reality of what you are. So being able to connect with that was life changing for me. That is where you gain higher wisdom, higher knowledge, and we will do a lot of open focus breathing in this particular teaching, and doing a lot of rhythmic breathing in these upper chakras to really expand and ignite your energy field around you to connect to these higher energies. And then the third eye chakra, which is working with your intuition. We all have this, but most people are too stuck in the denseness 3D to be able to open their eyes up enough to work with this intuition and then be able to follow your intuition, because you can get you can get a sense of intuitiveness about something. Let's say a situation, you're trying to make a decision, you are scared, you have an intuition that it should go this way, but if you aren't clear in your third chakra, in your personal power, in your self-trust and willpower, you then won't actually make that decision to go in that way because you will be too afraid to, which is exactly why it's important to work with all of them. So this is also where we'll work with manifestation. I have specific techniques, small, simple steps that you do to manifest small things. So it really builds your manifestation muscle. It helps you with your belief in your manifestation, so you can start working on the bigger things. Visualization is huge. Even working with breathwork, visualization is huge. And as I said, we really work with the rhythmic breathing and the pelvic floor together in these upper chakras, because it really raises your frequency really, really high. For those of you that have done my awakening ceremonies, this is all about manifesting, raising your energy really high, connecting to these higher frequencies. And then your throat chakra, obviously speaking your truth, your own self-expression, as I said, being able to speak to the world who you really are, taking radical responsibility, which is a concept I will talk a lot about in the program, in the course, what it means and how to apply it in your life every moment of every day. And vulnerability. Most people, they get stuck in their throat chakra. They go to say something, you get that lump in your throat and you're like, oh my gosh, it's right there, but I can't get it out. I can't be vulnerable. I'm too scared to speak it. And that's really where the throat chakra comes in. And then the last phase is alignment, meeting in your heart center, where 3D and 5D meet in the middle, living with an open heart. We do a lot of heart coherent breathing, as I talked about earlier, which just means breathing in a rhythm, visualizing in and out of your heart, and then along with an elevated emotion, being able to bring up those elevated emotions that you just worked on for the previous weeks. As I said, living in elevated emotions, gratitude for, the first year into this work for me, I didn't even know what it felt like to feel gratitude. I no longer in my life had access to that emotion. I seriously could not find one thing that I felt grateful for. I could think of what I felt grateful for in my mind, but I couldn't feel it in my body. And so for me now, feeling gratitude, I don't sometimes even, on days I'll just list one thing. If that's all I don't just write things because I think I'm grateful for them. I write things, one of my daily practices, that I actually feel. And some days that may be only one thing, but it only takes that one thing to pull up that emotion and actually feel it in my body. So full empowerment, balance, and grounded is huge. Self-love, self-trust, and playful. This is where Scott and Simon and I, in the last 3 years in our Beyond Limits course, we would always say, come play with us in our sandbox, because the three of us really are very silly, very playful. We laugh a lot. We have a lot of fun. And if you think of kids being playful and fun, they live from their heart. They aren't stuck in this sort of really dense 3D. And so because they live from their heart, they're very playful and imaginative. And again, specific breathwork exercises along with specific action steps. So as you can see, this sort of formula or strategy of working with the breathwork and then plus the action steps for each chakra, that is what equals transformation, which means self-love, dream partnership, dream business or career, making an impact, which to me is the most important thing. Comfortable in your body, in your sexuality, feeling good around sex with your partner or with yourself. Supportive, loving relationships. So here's some things to keep in mind, because I talked to a lot of people. I did a lot of research before putting this program together. Actually, I talked to a lot of women, and I listened to the fears. I listened to what they felt was holding them back. I listened to all of you, and this is what I want you to understand and realize. It doesn't mean you have to go out and take giant steps tomorrow. People stop in this work because they think I have to go from 0 to 10 in a week, and you don't. It's actually the small wins that add up to the big ones. I've been doing this long enough in my own life and helping others in the same to understand you have to create those small wins and then celebrate them. That is what builds your belief in this process, and not just in the process, in yourself. It's how you build self-trust. It's how you build the belief in yourself to be able to continue to take those steps. I've taken enough in my life to know that had to start with a sense of self. That had to start with taking, when I was at the peak, I was taking 10 hydrocodone at one time, just to function, not even to get high, just to function. And so the small wins for me at that point was taking a quarter less or one less. Like those small wins for me, it was speaking my voice just in the slightest bit to my husband at the time. And those small things eventually added up to the sort of bigger giant steps that I took, that I was ready for, because I had been building those smaller wins within me. I didn't know I was doing that at the time. And now looking back, I know that those small wins are really important. And so it's really important for me in this program that I created and the people that work with me, that you have these small wins, because that's what keeps you going. You don't have to, burn your life tomorrow. You have to take small steps until you lead your life from a place of love and not fear. You don't have to lose everybody in your life. This is a very common fear that I talk to a lot of women about. They were afraid of people they would lose in their life. And here is the thing. I created this program to make it about you, not about the people in your life, not about the people you want to help, not about the people you want to help, your family, your friends, about you. So the focus will always come back on you, not like you need to go kick this person out, or you need to the focus will always be on you, because it is only within you that you will make a decision at some point to either keep someone in your life or don't. But that will always come from a place of love, like I said, instead of a place of fear. You can't help anyone unless you are putting the mask on yourself first. Biggest lesson I learned. So you've all heard it in the airplane. They will tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before even putting it on your child. Because if you are dead, there's no way that you can help your child. So how many women in their lives do this? Even women on a spiritual path. They are busy caretaking everybody because they think that's the good thing to do. They think it's selfish, which is a social conditioning and paradigm I so desperately am wanting to change, because actually taking care of yourself first so you are full, and then you can come from a place of wholeness and really offer everything you have to give to that other person. Because if you aren't whole and you're not fully fulfilled on the inside, you are not giving from a place of wholeness, which means you're not helping anybody. So it's so important. I talk to so many women, oh, I want to heal others. I want to do this. I want to do that. But it starts with you first. It started with me the first 2 years of just focusing on my own transformation and my own growth before I could then offer that to other people. It's important to look at how far you have come, what your big dreams are, and what you're doing today that is leading you in that direction. So this is one of the exercises I have people do in the course, which is, you've heard of vision boards, but you really need a board for the wins that you've had in your past to remind you when you're in fear or when in doubt that how far you have come, the steps you have taken. And then it's really important to know what your big dreams and goals are, what you're going after in sort of the macro in 10 years from now, but most importantly, what you're doing today that is leading you in that direction. What are the baby steps that you're doing today that are leading you to that place? In fact, it is scientifically proven to increase flow states that you have the big goals, but that you actually are working on really, as I said, small wins, small goals. That actually releases dopamine into your brain when you have those small wins and you're really focused on what you're doing today to make those bigger dreams happen. Another one that I always loved from Tony Robbins, he said, we overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 10 years. And for me, that was vitally important because I tend to be the kind of person that wants everything now and do everything now. If I'm not doing it all now, what's wrong with me? So it's really important that we have all three of those. You are your own healer. Nobody's going to save you but you. I promise you. Nobody can do it for you. You will be the one to do it. The people that we've worked with in the last 3 years, they'll say, thank you, you changed my life. And I will ask them, I tell them, don't thank me. I didn't do it for you. All I was the guide. All I give you is the blueprint, but you have to take the action steps. Nobody is going to do that in your life but you. And that's why I'm so big on, you can't just work in the 5D and energy healing. That's only one piece of the puzzle. You then have to work on what does that mean in your life when you're going to go take steps to reach out to that person, to let go of that relationship, to create that business, to create just a following, to speak your voice. What are you going to do in that realm that's going to bring that 5D into it? So just to go over some of the results of the people that have been working with me in our Beyond Limits course in the last 3 years, some of the things that they experienced in working with me, working with breathwork. So sunflower. At the same time, I'm excited 2 times for what might come. I've been feeling a lot of movement literally in my root and heart centers. Last night, I felt my root center moving so much, it's as if I was going to have an orgasm. And now instead of pain, it went up to her throat. So she had to then work with her throat chakra. Lots of crying, difficult conversations, insight moments, less fear, more trust. Guess I'm learning the meaning of letting go. For all that, thank you. And you know what? There is always more. Anyone else feel like they shifted realities? I think this was after a 1-day workshop. Everything is so different. I'm on a high today and I'm grateful for that. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? Thank you. I'm totally aware that things are moving within me. I can feel it now. I'm on a roll, really excited about moving on. And a lot of my transformation is thanks to you and Beyond Limits. Forever grateful. This is one of my favorites from my sister Ninja, who is helping me and guiding those that come into the Authentic Life Blueprint. She says, I have found my way back to myself. I've reestablished some good practices of exercise, breathwork, meditation, healthy eating. I'm feeling more in the driver's seat of my life versus my bad habits, which led to an unfulfilled self. A few mornings ago, oh, never mind. This is not from Ninja. I'm sorry. Ninja is the next one. A few mornings ago, my husband told me about a practice he'd heard about, which initially inspired a fear response. I breathed through my inner no and found a sense of courage, which led to an inner yes. Here's the one from Ninja. I have been lying here with tears rolling down the sides of my face since the end of the workshop. My heart is blown wide open. How is it possible one can feel this much love? Let me see if I can put this into words. I found myself weightless. Every breath I took allowed light to flow through me. Gone was my sense of having a body. I could feel the expansiveness. I could see 360 degrees. I was the flowers. I was the trees. I was all of it. I could see earth the size of a grapefruit. I was one with all of the creation. That is breath work, baby. That is the power of using your own damn breath. So this is not theory. Until now, I've been working with my partner and best friend as a sort of family practice, as I said, in our Beyond Limits course. But now I've moved into my own specialty, which is specific and targeted and effective in helping women release this really stored, dense, stuck energy so that they can begin to become in alignment and manifest everything that they want in their life, just as I have done. This system is unlike any out there and may just be the missing piece to your puzzle, especially if you've continued to struggle with just trying to do the work on your own. If you're thinking, I'm ready, where do I start? You really just have to commit. You have to focus. You have to take action, which you've done by being here with me today and spending your time with me on a Sunday. I just gave you the blueprint for exactly what I've done and exactly what I walk people through. But as I'm sure you can imagine, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to moving out of frustration, seeing legitimate changes and wins in your life, gaining clarity, and ultimately moving from fear to freedom. So you have two options, basically. You can try to keep doing it on your own. I love that picture. Or you can choose the proven success path, which is what I've been able to do on my own. So if you're smart, you decide to work with me, nothing is held back, no missing steps. You just have to follow my guide step by step. But again, I am not your savior. I'm just a guide. I'm just giving you the guide and supporting you every step of the way. I am on a mission to accelerate your growth, to remove the frustration, because I know there's a lot of you out there that are frustrated, and offer you results that you truly build a life on your own terms. I'm interested in results. I'm not interested in giving people any more knowledge. I'm interested in people actually experiencing the results in their life. And that's what my Authentic Life Blueprint program creates. I've taken the entire process from start to finish and using breathwork to release stored trauma, taking action steps to let go of the default self and limiting thoughts and beliefs, build your self-confidence, your willpower, creating these small wins to keep you moving in a forward direction, building a community of like-minded women that support each other, that cheer each other on, that love each other, and become a manifesting master and put it all into this program. The biggest issue I see, as I've talked about in the spiritual community and the personal development community, is there's so many courses out there, each of them only teaching you one aspect of how to transform yourself in your life. Reiki to heal the energetic body, as I talked about, but depends on someone else doing it for you and is really only working in the 5D realm. Workshops and retreats that give you an experience, but no step-by-step guide to how to integrate and implement that when you go back into your life. Mindset coaches that focus constantly on just pushing the ball, go, 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 instead of learning how to find the balance between the doing and the being, the action and the surrender. No one bridges the two that I have found that puts the power in your hands. You're the one that's able to do it. And that's really where this Authentic Life Blueprint can fill in the blanks. But the better the fit, the better the results. I've learned this in the last 3 years of working with people. I'm building a legacy business, which means I don't want just to work with anybody. I want to work with the right clients. So here's how the process works. As I said in the beginning, this course, this Authentic Life Blueprint, is for you if you're frustrated or stagnant with your current meditation practice and you're ready to level up. Like I said, you've gone to all the retreats, hired all the healers, read all the books, but you're still struggling to actually implement and integrate in your life. You feel blocks within your energetic system. You know that you have stored trauma within your body. You've tried things to release it, or maybe you're not even conscious. It's subconscious within you. You don't know, but you know something's holding you back, but nothing has shifted. You feel stuck, and that maybe that manifestation just doesn't work for you. You don't know how to marry or bridge the 3D and 5D so you can actually create lasting transformation. You want to make changes, but you're afraid of what those around you may think. I know I lived that for a very long time. You are committed to doing the hard things to get out of your Groundhog Day. You know the spiritual concepts, but you're looking for a step-by-step guide. You want to make an impact in the world. You're ready to be a leader and manifest your most authentic life. If this sounds like you, because as I said, I want to work with the right people. I want to work with people that are ready to do this, that are really, truly ready, not make excuses, not want to tell their stories, not tell me that they know it all. None of those things will work. I'll be fighting against you the whole time, and it's not productive for you or I. So if this does sound like you, you're invited to schedule a call to potentially enroll in my Authentic Life Blueprint. I've set aside some time in the next 5 days to talk to you guys, see if this helps, and see if this is a fit for you. Like I said, these calls are to make sure that we are fit together. We have to resonate with each other, or again, it will never work. And I'm not just interested in taking people's money or time if it's not going to work and you're not going to get results. This call is approximately 30 minutes. The intention is to just get a better understanding of your situation, identify how and if we are a fit to work together. This founders group starts on October 13th, means there's a week and a half left. There are exclusive benefits to joining this founders group that will not, I promise you, will not be offered again. It includes lifetime access to the course, to my weekly calls, to the Facebook group, meaning you will never be kicked off. You can take as long as you need to work through the material. You will have lifetime access to me. That's only going to be offered in the founders group. But remember, like I said, I'm not willing to work with just anyone, only those that are committed and ready for change. So if you want to hop on a call and have a chat with me, it's no pressure. I'm not a pressure person. Just like I said, I want to make sure that it's a fit for both of us, that it's a fit for you and it's fit for me, and that this program will be effective for you in creating the change that you want to change. So you can schedule a call now. Like I said, it starts in a week and a half. I'm only taking a limited number of spots because this first group, I really want this coherent energy to build in this first round. So I'm taking a little bit limited number of women. They're already filling up. So I would highly suggest, if you want to know more about it, dive deeper into how it may help you, schedule a call so we can chat. I can only do 3 calls a day. So here's what I know to be true. I promise you I would not be where I am today without investing and working with the people who were where I wanted to be. I still do this, and I stay committed to the process. I do this all the time. I did it from the beginning, and I do it now. I know the importance of investing in myself first before anything else, because that's where my life starts and ends, is within me. So ask yourself, where do you want to be in 1 year from now, as I talked about? And more importantly, I think the bigger question is, what will your life look like in a year from now? If you don't do something differently, I think that's more painful. It was for me, at least early on in the process. It was too painful to think that my life would continue and I wouldn't make the changes I knew I needed to make. So like I said, schedule a call now. I will be sending this out. I'm going to go over questions. And I wanted to let you know about the freebie. So everybody who joined this call is going to get access to one of my exclusive breathwork tracks nobody has tried before. Let's see. I'm going to try to get off this shared screen. There we go. All right. So everybody who watched this live stream, who watches it, they are going to get a new breathwork track that, like I said, nobody's had access to before. So all you need to do is email me or Facebook message me your email address, and then I will send it to you directly, this new breathwork track. I will email it to you. So like I said, just make sure that you send me a Facebook message, and I will send you within the next day, I will send you that breathwork meditation, and you'll be able to experience for yourself. Next Sunday, I do these every 3rd Sunday of the month. They're free Soma breathwork awakening ceremonies. The next one is next Sunday, same time, I believe. It's either 11 or 12. I'm not going to say for sure because I don't want to screw it up, but you can register through Eventbrite for that breathwork ceremony next Sunday, so you can experience this breathwork firsthand, so you can know and understand the power of it. Like I said, this course is going to have all sorts of breathwork. It's really focused, like I said, on making the changes, doing the steps in your life. It's zeroed in, it's honed in. After doing, what I've been doing for the last 3 years, I understand the importance of really honing in on the specific things that you're wanting to change in your life. And I wholeheartedly believe in this system, believe in this strategy, because it's worked in my life and it's worked in others that I have worked with. So yeah, I took this over an hour. So does anybody have any questions? You can go ahead and post them in the comments if you have any questions about what we went over. Like I said, even if you have, you aren't sure if this is a right fit for you, or you aren't sure how breathwork maybe be able to help you in specific areas, book a call, because it may just be that you just want to take, I have a mini series, it's just 4 modules, and maybe that's a good start for you until you sort of dive in, you want to dive in deeper. And so a phone call is just so we can figure that out. I'm not about pressuring anybody. Like I said, I'm just about truly understanding if we would be a good fit and if this program will work for you in what you're trying to create in your life. So I'm opening it up, like I said, for any questions anyone has. I just see lots of hearts flying. That's what my girl Ninja said. I love that you guys are all here. I just used that oxygen mask example this week in a meeting. Yep, absolutely. It's something I learned early on in my journey, and that is fundamentally true. I was late, but following. Thanks, loving it. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love that you guys are here and join this. So like I said, book a call and find out if this may be a good fit, how I can help you, how we can help each other on this journey. Because like I said, I 100,000,000,000% believe we need more leaders. We need less followers and more leaders. And that starts within you, within your life, being a leader in your life, taking those hard steps, being authentic, showing up authentic. So what can you expect in this course? So this course is, great question, Ninja. So this course is for this founders group. It's 9 weeks, but like I said, it's lifetime access. So if you need to say, take longer in the third module, the third teaching, which is your solar plexus chakra, and you need to take a little bit more time working through the tasks I'm having you do and working through the breath work, you can take 2 weeks on that. You're not going to lose access to the weekly calls. So each section, each teaching follows along, like I said, the chakra system, and having specific breathwork techniques that work with that. So it could be that, you know, like I said in my post, maybe you hate having sex with your husband, but you don't know why, and you don't understand what is this inside of you. It's subconscious. Then I have specific breathwork, not just specific breathwork techniques for that, to work with that sexual energy, but then tasks that you do, 3D action steps that you take in your life that is also working with that energy center, with that chakra, in order to open it up and clear it, and clear the social conditioning and the cultural conditioning we have around sex in our bodies and women, and what that means. So each week you get a short, like 10-minute breathwork track that's super easy. Like that's the thing when I was creating this, I wanted it to be easy to follow. I didn't want it to be overwhelming, because I talk to so many people and they're like, I don't have time. Like I have kids, I have a job, and I totally understand that. And so I didn't want any excuses for somebody not to do this if they felt called to in their heart, if they really felt like, oh my gosh, I know I need to make this change. I know I've been lacking the guide, the blueprint, the community of women. I already have mentors that have gone through our Beyond Limits course that will be mentors in this program, that will be there for you to help you in every moment when you're struggling, when you're not understanding something. I will be in the Facebook group every day. You'll be live with me every week. And so it's really breaking it down, like I said, into baby steps, into small wins each week, so you can build on that. You build in this root system, and then you build in this higher system, so you can live from a place of your heart center. Like that, to me, is a truly authentic life. That is living life on your terms and being able to express love, but also learning how to have boundaries in your life, and to not be okay with having toxic people in your life, and to not be okay with not enjoying your body, enjoying yourself, who you are as an individual, being able to spend time with yourself. One of the biggest things that always amazed me in some of the women I worked with, and I did a one-day women's workshop specifically that worked with this, that so many women can't even take themselves out to dinner. Like they don't even feel good enough to go out to dinner on their own, which just really opened my eyes to how much we don't celebrate ourselves, how much we don't fall in love with yourselves. People are always asking, how did you get your soulmate? How did you find him? How do I find my soulmate? And I swear to God to you, the answer will always be fall in love with yourself. Fall in love with yourself. Be your own partner. Be the person that you want to be with. Fall in love with everything about you. Because why would you want to be in a relationship when you are anything less than that? Because you would never be offering that person in that relationship your true authentic self. And if you don't know who that is, he sure as shit or she sure as shit isn't going to know either. So it really starts and ends with you all of the time. Okay, any more questions? Anyone have any more questions? Like I said, it's 9 weeks. I say 9 weeks because there's 9 teachings, but it's lifetime in this founders group. It's lifetime access. So that means in a year from now, I mean, these are tactics and tools and techniques that you're going to literally use for the rest of your life. So that means in a year from now, if you're struggling with something or something new came up, you can hop on the call. You can say, you know, I'm trying to create this business. I'll also have a lot of resources for at the end when you've gone through the course for starting your own business and what you need if you have that passion and you've cleared all of these things that have held you back, how to move forward with that. So tons of resources, tons of techniques, tons of breath work. It really is. I'm so super freaking excited about this. I'm excited for the women that have already joined. They're an amazing group of women, and I can't wait to see who else fits. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this since, you know, I said 45 minutes and I went double that. So there you go. Thank you, yes, you get the thank you, Ninj. You get the recording of the weekly calls. So we'll have a live weekly call. If you can't make that live call, then you always will get the recording for that. Okay? Great questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for being on this. I hope it added value. Like I said, I want to make sure people walk away with value, that they can go, okay, now I can take something from this and start to apply it and see if it works. Don't forget to make sure I have your email address if you want the exclusive breathwork meditation that I'm giving out to people who are on this call. So message me, say, hey, I need the breath work. You said I would get the breath work. Message me, and I will be sure to do that. All right. I love you guys. I can't wait to connect with some of you, to have chats with some of you, to work with some of you, to figure out if this can help you and expand your journey. All right, guys. I will see you next Sunday. Free Soma Awakening Ceremony. Be sure to register through Eventbrite. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.